Michael Bisping and Paul Felder believe Kevin Holland crossed the line during his controversial appearance on the Jackson podcast last week. The tension between Kevin and Rampage Jackson escalated, and at one point, Kevin told Rampage to shut the F up.
Like, if it's not a 45-70 that we're shooting across the room, trying to see who hits the target, I'm not worried about it. Do you know what a 45-70 is?
No, I don't.
Okay, then shut the fuck up.
You'll tell me shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Because you don't understand what a 45-70 is.
He doesn't know what a 45...
You're talking about ego.
The tension between Kevin and Rampage started over a joke Rampage made about Kevin a few months ago. Bisping and Felder believe Kevin took it too personally. They also pointed out that Kevin's comments about not caring for his upcoming fight with Rainier de Ridder ended up backfiring, as Kevin lost the fight via rear naked choke in the first round.
Again, this is a guy that we talk very highly of in Kevin Holland. We like him. We like his style. That's not the place to do that, man. You go on this guy's podcast, and Rampage, to me, seems like he might bust balls, but he seems like a pretty relaxed, chill dude that's not out there to have you on to have an argument or a beef, right? He wants to shoot the shit. He wants to get to know you, tell crazy stories. And for Kevin talking guns and start, telling him to shut the F up and all, I didn't like that. And that's bad juju, and he got his back.
Yeah, I think when Michael Rampage does this, and I think Kevin Holland did that, and I think Rampage made some like kind of gay joke or something like that. I didn't actually see it, but that's what I think I understand. So he had a problem with that. It's like, it's a joke. He's having a laugh. That's all it is. And so to sit there and, and I was talking about this, to tell him to shut the F up and all the rest of it and have that kind of energy. And I like Kevin Holland. And if he sees this, he might be pissed off. But it's true. And I think universally, the internet agrees with the point that we're making or the stance that we're taking. He was being kind of disrespectful, saying, I don't give an F about the fight on Saturday night. Well, that one kind of bit him in the ass a little bit because de Ridder smoked him. And we'll get to that in a second. But
he did.
When we get to this stage in our life, and maybe some people might say, well, of course, you're making excuses for yourself for being an old bastard. I remember being that age, being mid-fight career, and you do have that chip on your shoulder. You do have that bit of arrogance because you still got to prove yourself to the world. You still got to validate yourself. You still want the fans to know that, hey, listen, I'm one of the best. And that's kind of like the mentality that he has. When you get to our age, when you get to Rampage's age, we're the same age, we're both former champions. You sit there, we don't feel that need to impress or prove ourselves anymore. Yeah. So Rampage was really restrained. And he was like, bro, what are you talking about? I said F it. And you're like, well, you said that to me. I said F you. Rampage might be 45. He's twice the size of him. And he's a beast. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira is gearing up for his upcoming showdown with Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313 on March 8th. The former champ has been pushing his training to the limit, putting in up to 3 sessions a day as he prepares for the big fight. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Alex said, he's a complete fighter, hardworking guy. I'm a complete fighter. I train hard. I'm the champ. We stay a little bit more quiet. He's the challenger. He's been talking a little bit, but I just stay composed. I just do my thing and focus on my work. I trained 3 times yesterday, so I'm just doing my thing. Everybody can interpret it a different way. He always talks that he's going to do this or he's going to do that. Khalil Roundtree, a complete fighter, well-renowned fighter, isn't going to do anything Ankalaev is going to do. Israel Adesanya claims the middleweight division feels boring without him. His last fight ended in a 4th-round submission loss to Dricus Du Plessis in August of last year. However, Izzy is set to face Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Saudi Arabia on February 1st, and he's determined to make the division exciting again. He says his goal is to prove to himself that he's still that guy. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Izzy said, it's always good to mix things up, but again, this is just fighting. It'll be pretty boring in the lead up to this fight for the fans that like that kind of stuff, but the fight's going to be very exciting. That's the sauce in this one for me. It's just proving to myself that I'm still that dude. I know I'm one of the best, if not the best. I still feel like I'm improving, and I see the work that I do. I feel the work that I do, and I just want to show the world the work that I'm doing. I didn't know that all those other fights were in the month of February, but yeah, exciting times for 185. But to be honest, 185 feels boring without me. So yeah, I want to go in there and just make it interesting. Moicano fired back at Paddy Pimblett after Paddy posted his live reaction to Renato Moicano's first-round submission loss to Islam Makhachev. In the video, Paddy was highly critical of Moicano for tapping, stating that he should have gone to sleep instead.
Oh yeah, Moicano trying to work his way up. What does he give his neck? Oh, it's over. Ah, you fucking tap that quick, Renato. Go asleep, lad. Go out on your shield. I fucking hate that, you know. You're in a fucking choke, lad. You're not gonna snap your neck. Go asleep. Second straight win by Dars, lad. That was too easy.
Renato responded to Paddy Pimblett on his YouTube channel recently, addressing rumors that the UFC was planning a fight between Paddy and Michael Chandler. Renato made it clear that if Paddy doesn't end up facing Chandler, he's more than willing to step in and fight him instead.
And another thing is, Paddy Pimblett is talking a lot of shit. He posted a video criticizing me for fighting for the belt. Let me tell you something, not Just Engage, fucking Paddy Pimblett. I don't know if you fight fucking Chandler or not, but if you're not, just sign the contract and we could fight in Miami or in Brasilia. You know, that's going to be the last time that I mention you. Fuck you. If you want that fight, it is what it is, my brother, okay? How much better do you think you do against Islam Makhachev? I don't think you do much better than I did. I had a little time for preparation. Like I said before, you never got a fight in 1 day notice and on short notice. Imagine in 1 day notice, okay? So just think about that. If you want to fight, just sign the contract.
Bo Nickal weighed in on the idea that Magomed Ankalaev will rely solely on his wrestling to defeat Alex Pereira at UFC 313. The odds are even at -1 in 10 for both fighters, though some sites have Pereira as the underdog. Bo, however, isn't impressed with Magomed's ground game, stating he doesn't believe it's as strong as many think.
You know, here's the deal. I think Ankalaev's a smart guy. He's going to take him down.
It's got it, right?
He's just going to take him down. I don't think his wrestling is like unbelievable. Like he's not a wrestler. People think, oh, Russian wrestler. No, he's not a wrestler.
Yeah, I'm still going Pereira.
I think Pereira's going to win as well. If Ankalaev like just wrestles the whole fight, he could probably win. But I don't think his wrestling is that good. Like he wrestled with Paul Craig and Paul Craig was taking him down.
Yeah.
And Paul Craig was reversing him and so I mean, obviously Craig ended up submitting him, but I feel like not impressed with his ground game, his grappling. So he's going to have to strike with him at some point, and I think Pereira will knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just the reality of the situation.
Wow. Clip this in.
Michael Chandler addressed the rumors that he's set to fight Paddy Pimblett next during an appearance on Tim Welch's YouTube channel. Chandler said fighting Paddy would feel like a more fun day at the office compared to the high-caliber opponents he's faced recently. However, he also expressed interest in fighting Arman Tsarukyan, noting that it could be a great matchup as well.
You know, I definitely think it's possible at this point. You know, it's just this sport is so nuts, man. I mean, dude, if you would have asked me before the Arman versus Islam debacle, right, I'd be like, well, yeah, Paddy is a higher likelihood. And now it might have gone down because I'm like, well, why wouldn't I fight Arman next, right? Arman's got to come back and fight his way back into the opportunity to fight for the title because of, you know, whether it was an injury or hurt or weight cut, whatever it may be. But Paddy's definitely a possibility. It's a big fight. It's a fun fight. It's a fight that I like stylistically, not to take anything away from him. But when you fought Poirier, you fought Gaethje, you fought Oliveira, you fought Dan Hooker, the fighting Paddy Pimblett sounds like a fun day at the office compared to some of those. And I like him. I do. I think Paddy's got a great brand. I like the way he carries himself. He gets a little fat in the off season. That would be about the only thing I would change about him. But no, I think it'd be fun, and I'd love to go out there and lock horns. You know, I always like the idea of 25. I think I can withstand that pace for 25 minutes, as I showed in my last fight. If it would be 15, it's 15. You know, coming back, you know, I was a little beat up after the last fight. I don't like to talk about in the fight because it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I did something to my knee in that first round. After that, I couldn't get my footing. So after that, I ended up falling like 4 times in the fight, fell and like dislocated my thumb because I just fell. It's like it was a weird fight, right? So I got a couple little injuries going on that I'm rehabbing through and doing some PT. So middle of the year, International Fight Week sounds fun. And whoever they throw at me, I think 15 minutes, 25 minutes, Armin, Paddy, I didn't win my last fight, so I'm not in a position to be calling people out. Obviously, I had a big old call out list with Max Holloway, Connor. Always got to talk about Connor.
Dricus Du Plessis has responded to Sean Strickland attempting to make a pact with him to keep their upcoming rematch on the feet at UFC 312.
Listen, Dutchman, I'm going to need you to be a man. I'm going to need you to stand up, not go to your knees, and we're going to need to strike like men. I know you like to wrestle and you like to choke people out and do some dude, but I'll make a pact with you. You make a pact with me that we stand up like men and we settle this like men.
In an interview with Fox Sports Australia, Dricus responded to Sean saying, "If you want to make pacts about us, just standing, go do boxing. Last fight," he said, to the death, and I was ready for that. I went forward for 23 minutes of a 25-minute fight, but from him, it was jabs and teeps. Sean Strickland knows a lot of one-liners to sound tough, but I expose fake tough guys. I'm not here to make pacts, I'm here to win. Alex Pereira's sister, Aline, scored another victory in karate combat last night. Aline defeated Amanda Torres via TKO in the second round. Right after the fight, Aline went right up to Alex, who was in the crowd. Alex posted this to his Instagram after the fight. He wrote, "Another great win, Shama." He followed up with this video to his story. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.